Nigerian Tribune newspaper this morning. Let's start with the Punch newspaper headlines. And this one says 2027, this is on the Punch. Atiku bloc defies PDP governors over coalition talks. Ex-VP insists on 2027 Pan-Nigeria project as PDP governors distance party from coalition talks. That's on page 2 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Tinubu orders offensive as fresh plateau attack leaves 51 dead. That's on page 12. Algon calls out AGF on local government autonomy stalemate. That's on page 7. Presidency slams El-Rufai over plot to woo Buhari. That's on page 3. Federal government scrambles to avert Genco's shutdown over 4 trillion naira debt. That story is on page 23 of the Punch newspaper this morning. More headlines. Nigeria's external debt servicing may hit $5.2 billion. This is according to Fitch. That's on page 23. Buhari's ex-minister cautions Makinde on successor plots. Okay, that story is on page 3. And finally, family feud. Peter alleges Jude diverted 1.3 billion naira P-Square earnings. That's entertainment on pages 4 and 5 of the Punch newspaper this morning. On the front page of the Vanguard, the headlines are similar. Plateau Benue killings. Governor Alia threatens. Tinubu gives Mutswang marching orders. Family of 8 wiped out. Armed herders kill 52 in fresh Sunday night attack. Victims given mass burial. Government expresses displeasure. Troops rescue 16 kidnapped victims. Christian leaders plan protest over killings. I can't guarantee visitors to Benue without my knowledge, says Governor Alia. I'm a target of Benue governor's threat, says Peter Obi. That story is on page 5 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. More headlines. Electricity. Genco's warn of imminent shutdown over 4 trillion naira debt. Federal government sets 14-month completion deadline for 777 billion naira Abuja Kaduna Zaria Road. That's on page 9 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. More headlines. Emergency rule. Pro and anti-Fubara women protest Rock Rivers. That's on page 7 of the Vanguard newspaper this morning. Let's take a look at headlines on the front page of the Daily Trust. Headlines are very similar and heartbreaking. Bloodletting continues in Plateau. 49 killed in fresh attack. More headlines. Gunmen abduct worshippers on Lokoja Mountain. That's on page 17 of the Daily Trust newspaper. We also have this headline. Rivers emergency rule. Court orders service on Tinubu, Ibas, and Fubara. On the front page of the Nigerian Tribune newspaper, the headlines are very, very, very similar. But let's take just some of them. Solar. Nigeria spent 200 billion naira on importation of panels. That's from the REAMT. Lagos government, REA, signed MOU on rural electrification. That's on page 6. And yes, these are some of the headlines that are making the rounds on the different dailies this morning. Let's bring in our analyst on the show, Chukwemeka Munachiso, our news editor and in-house analyst. Good morning to you.
Good morning, Bola.
How are you doing?
I'm always doing fine, by the grace of God.
Only by the grace of God.
Yes.
Are we breathing and living?
Yes.
And if you're out there and you believe otherwise, I don't know what to say. All right, you're welcome this morning. We have so many things to unpack.
Yes.
Now, let's start with the plateau attack.
Okay.
I think it's best to start with that, then we move to the article block. All right. Now, Benue is, if I'm correct, the food basket of the nation. And has been facing attacks since for about more than 5 years now. That's Benue State. For more than 5 years now. And we can see the evidence in that, in the quality of food. We can see its evidence in the price of food in the country. Now, Plateau, about 51 people fell dead, mass killings. Yet there is no, what do we call it, state of emergency with a caretaker, just as we had in Rivers State, which didn't have as much violence. The only difference in Rivers State was the fact that a pipeline was blown. Now, the president has ordered an offensive He has, as usual, condemned the violence, and he has urged the state's leadership to find a lasting solution to this conflict, which he has termed to be communal conflicts. Let's start from there.
You see, the president does not know what to do because the governor of Plateau State, Caleb Mufang, is the chief security officer on paper. He does not command any troop. He has nobody to command. This thing playing out in Plateau State. Look, let me tell you something. I have here an Okada friend, Abubakar by name. He's from Zamfara. I always discuss with him because if he's going back to his people, he will tell me. We are close. So he ran back sometime and told me that he told me we stay 2 months. After a month, I started seeing him again. I said, "What's happened?" He said that herdsmen were all over the place in his place. I said, and I asked him, where are they coming from? He said they are not Nigerians. Is he from Zamfara? He said they are not Nigerians, and they go from house to house.
I mean, this is
I'm coming.
Probably true because before this herdsmen issue, we've had Hausas and Fulanis in the north living in peace.
Wait, I'm coming. I'm coming. He told me that they are not Nigerians. He is from Zamfara. I still saw him yesterday. He took me to somewhere on his Okada. He said they are not Nigerians. So you begin to wonder why Nigeria should fold its arms and allow people to wander in with their cows from Niger, Mali, and Chad and be killing people in their own land, and you call it herders farmers clash. Is a lie. It is never herders. What are farmers fighting with? It is an invasion. And that is why, if we are sincere about this crisis, Nigeria has the instruments of cohesion, the instruments to bring these people and send them back to where they are coming from. Why didn't you have such a problem in Ghana? Because Ghana leadership came out and warned them that if you bring your cow to Ghana, we are going to make barbecue of your cows, and they run away. They didn't come there. But here, in the name of religion, in the name of ethnicity, we bring these people in, and they are decimating local population of Nigerians. And the government is condolences for people that are not your citizens, coming in to attack your citizens, and you're offering condolences. Buhari told us they should learn to accommodate who are our brothers and sisters. They are not. And let me say something here. If you stop eating their beef, because you are eating their beef, that's why they are bringing the beef for you. Go and check what happened in Afibo. Afibo people had the same issue. Afibo people now came out and said, look, we are not interested in eating beef again. Don't come here with your beef. Do you know what happened? They thought it was a joke because they have people in high places that are protecting all this nonsense. Afibo people put it into practice. They came, Afibo people said, we don't want you here again. Some people were arrested in Afibo and taken to Abakaliki. After some time, they were released. Afibo people stood their ground. They don't eat beef. So, and they gave them a marching order to leave Afibo. They left Afibo. Now, if you are doing something in Afibo, you cannot bring a live cow in Afibo. You will kill it where you bought it and bring it in because they don't want to see cow there. Because if the Southwest, if they are sincere about tackling this menace, they should stop eating beef.
Do you think that can
No, I'm coming. Then you live with the consequences of eating beef.
But
Look,
does that mean we don't have legal?
I'm coming. I'm coming. Since the leadership has failed to protect the people, people should now think outside the box. That's what I'm saying. You understand? You think outside the box because these people are not Nigerians. My father was a farmer before he died. I used to go to farm with him. Nigerian Fulanis are very peaceful. Because I will be in the farm with my father. Some of them will come. They will come and they speak Igbo fluently. They will come and greet my father. My father will be discussed. I was a small boy. I remember very well, vividly. There was one Baba. Every time he passes, the man will give me Friday Nunu. He will drop some milk and give my father some meat. My father will give him yam. The man spoke fluent Igbo. And they never took their cow to people's farm. But these savages will come in, rape women, brutalize people, kill, and yet the state is looking at them. Something is wrong somewhere. No, somebody is not telling Nigerians the truth about where these people are coming from and what is their mission. And that is why this bill, indigenous status bill, is dead on arrival. Because if you live in a place after 10 years, you become an indigene. Where is it done? So, look at Plateau. Plateau has been painted red. Benue State has been boiling because of headers coming from outside Nigeria. And yet, during the cyber act protest in Abuja, Air Force used a helicopter for area surveillance. Why can't they employ the same thing to fish out these people that are killing Nigerians? Nigerians don't deserve to be killed like chicken in their own land. Do we do that? Do Nigerians go outside this country and the country where they are domiciled, they kill the indigenous? You will go back on the next available flight. And yet we allow these people to wander in here, and we are saying we are praying. We are organizing this thing. Look, let me tell you something, Bola. If care is not taken, if ethnic groups begin to raise their militia, goodbye to Nigeria. Because you can't control this thing. This thing that is now festering, it has festered for so long, people are still dying. I'm not from Plateau State, but the life of every Nigerian matters to me. You know what I'm saying? A family of 8 wiped out because of some savages that came from nowhere into another person's land, and you call it communal. It's not a communal clash because they are not Nigerians. If they are Nigerians, that's a different thing. They are not Nigerians. So let them go back where they are coming from. The state has the instrument to send them packing, unless there's a backing by the state for these people, which is an anomaly. It's very, very depressing to wake up and be hearing this kind of stories. People dying unnecessarily in their own land, go to sleep with their family. A savage will come from somewhere and wipe you out for no reason. By the way, who gave them AK-47? How did they buy it? It's not something you buy across the counter. Why are they not being arrested? Why? This is one of the reasons why people in the southeast, let me tell you, the army went there over the week that they are begging them to come and join the military. They say they are not joining. They can't join because because of the unfair treatment. They won't join, and they are not joining because if you go there over there and see what the military is doing, they can't join the military. So let them have their military. So the most important thing now is that look, Tinubu should wake up and do the needful. He should not follow Buhari example, where he treated this matter with kid gloves because of his affinity with those people. Tinubu must wake up and do the needful so that history will record that during his administration, bloodletting stopped in Nigeria in the hand of savages coming into the country to kill people at will, as if Nigeria is a conquered territory. What are they looking for? In people's land, you come and kill them for no reason, and yet we have soldiers, we have this all over the place, and nobody is talking. What kind of nonsense is that? You wake up every day, it's about blood. For what? We are not at war. Somebody will wander in from Futajelo Mountain, from whatever. A savage who has no conscience. You kill people on their land and say it's a communal clash. Which communal? The land, does it belong to them? That is the thing.
All right. 51 people were again killed by gunmen, many injured in the early hours of Monday in Ziki and Kapa communities in the Bassa local government area of Plateau State. And this is just 2 weeks after several people also died in another part of the state. As a matter of fact, NEMA said that gunmen killed at least 52 people and displaced nearly 2,000 others over several days of attacks in Plateau State. Plateau State has a history of violence between farmers and cattle herders. And they say, well, according to the Punch, they say that the cause of the attack was not known. However,
let me tell you something, Bola. Go and read how Central African Republic dealt with this problem. They came there with all this rubbish they are doing in Nigeria. The people rose up and said, "You will leave our land," and they left. Because if you don't come out with red eyes, they can't leave. They believe that they have a divine as authority to live anywhere they like. It is a lie. If the land belongs to you, you go back to where you are coming from and rear your animals there. You cannot enter people's farm with your animals and eat up everything. I'm a farmer, and I know what it takes to farm. Somebody will come in and graze on, you know that this is maize.
I know that initially, when you see herdsmen, move around, back when I was, very little, you'd see them move around in the off-peak season for farmers. So when they come around, you see them just eating, in fact, sort of helping them clear the farm.
But now, because the state has disappointed the people, and they know that Nigerian state is weak, that's why they come in, graze people on
crops.
On crops. You will see cows eating maize, eating. They will even uproot the cassava planted by the people and give to their animal, and you say is a country. What kind of, and you want the people to have confidence in as a leadership when you have disappointed them. My fear is that let there be no, the moment there is a rise in militia, because that's what they are pushing people into. People will now begin to organize, and that is dangerous because you can't control the militia. You can't. Look at what happened in Rwanda. That's why I keep warning. Nigeria must not embark on the road to Kigali. We must not go the way of Kigali. We must not. All the people that matter in this country must rise up and speak against this thing that is happening in this country.
All right. Meanwhile, the president has said that this violence is between communities in Plateau State. It's rooted in misunderstandings between different ethnic and religious groups, and he said it must cease. In addition, the president has also appealed to community, spiritual, and political leaders to work together to halt the cycle of retaliatory attacks that is devastating affected communities. He has also instructed security agencies to thoroughly investigate the crisis and identify those responsible for orchestrating the violent acts. This is one time too many. This is not the first time, neither is it the 10th time that people are being killed on their own home soil, and this is really bad for Nigeria because again we talk all the time about the state of insecurity in the country, and this is just a good example. But let's move on. Let's talk about 2027. We have this headline on the Punch newspaper as well that says 2027 Atiku bloc defies PDP governors over coalition talks. Let's start from former Vice President Atiku Abubakar. He has been contesting for a while now against so many people's voices. He contested during the last elections, and it seems that we're seeing that he wants to contest again.
There's nothing wrong in him contesting. After all, Buhari contested how many times till he became the president? There's nothing wrong with him, but the thing there is Atiku himself, is there was a gentleman agreement in PDP when they supported him. That was why he cannot get anything from the Southeast. They supported him. Now, when it was time for this PDP to zone it, he came out again and said that no, he can't allow. That's why I don't believe in his political posturance. I don't. You understand? When a man is so obsessed with becoming a president, we have seen it so long. Buhari even wept at Mapo Hall that he should be allowed to rule Nigeria, and we gave him 8 years. Look at how we ruined Nigeria in every aspect. Now, Atiku is warming up. He wants to come. Nobody knows whether he will crawl this time around or beg. At the end of the day, it's not about desire. What are you bringing to the table? What plan do you have? Are you a visionary leader? Because Nigeria, we don't need pepper tigers. Nigeria is in a mess, and we need somebody who will fix this country up. A benevolent dictator, somebody who will fix what has been messed up in this country. Because if you look at the way things are going, if not by the grace of God, Nigeria would have been in a turmoil. It's already in a turmoil, but it would have been more than what we are seeing presently. You understand? So it is not something that is not about. I'm not talking about. Look, Bola, if Nigeria is where there is justice, where there is a level playing field, I care less where any president is coming from. I don't mind. As far as he will regard me, Chukwuemeka Munachiso, as a Nigerian, not as Igbo or as a Christian. That is my philosophy. But whereby I am being treated as a third-class citizen in my own country, I have a choice to make. So the most important thing is that we need somebody who believes in Nigeria, not primitive people with primitive mindset, who will get into power and all they know about is their ethnic group. No, Nigeria is so diverse, and our diversity would have been the strongest point we have to build a vibrant nation, a nation that will be an envy of other nations. But we have primitive men who, when they come to power, what they do is that they enter into ethnic cleavages and begin to do things excluding other people from other ethnic groups. Nigeria is so diverse. That is why the Southeast youths are saying that they will not be part of Nigerian army, because they have been excluded from everything that has to do with government. So the issue is that it's not about Atiku coming up to do. We are looking for somebody that has a pan-Nigerian spirit. Somebody that will come as that believes in Nigeria as a whole. Nigeria becomes your constituency. Buhari was there and he declared the Southeast as a dot in the circle. That how can he leave 95 that voted for him? But when you are a president, the whole country becomes your constituency. That's the way it should be. But because these people are not cut out to come near leadership, not even to talk of assuming any position of leadership, they still have that bigoted, primitive and as a mindset, and they bring it into leadership, and thereby they demystify the office of the president. So these people that are coming together for because now we're in a season of people gathering, coalition this, coalition that. What are they coaliting? We have seen it before, and Nigerians should be very, very worried. No matter where, I don't care where anybody is coming from. If you believe in Nigeria, and I know that you will not treat me as a fourth-class citizen, I will give you my vote.
Now, on March 20, Atiku Abubakar, Peter Obi, and former Kaduna State Governor Nasir El-Rufai announced the creation of a coalition. And the aim of this coalition is to defeat President Tinubu in the 2027 polls. That's the aim of this coalition. Okay, we haven't released the phone lines, but let's take this call. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. Hello, good morning. All right. Call us back. It's a good time as any to release the phone lines. The phone lines are officially open now. 0916 893 1000, 0916 893 2000, and 0915 333 4893. Wanted to be a part of the program and to contribute. Hello, good morning. Hello. Okay. Please call us back. Let's take this call again. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, madam. You have to speak up. What's your name and where are you calling from?
This is Adenka from Muslim.
Adenka, you're welcome. How are you doing this morning?
I'm fine, thank you. How are you?
I'm fine, thank you. Let's have your contribution in line with the things we've spoken about this morning.
Yes. Concerning the two killings, I commensurate with the people that lost their lives. It's so sad. So I think the president should stop condemning the violence and killings in places and do something very meaningful with serious action. Because I don't think that is the communal clashes. What is happening in Benue State, sorry, in Plateau State, is a communal crisis. As people are being unalived by terrorists, and this is all the president could say. So he should also declare state of emergency in Plateau State. Because in River State, where lives were not even lost, declare state of emergency. So not talk of 51 people being killed in a state, and is yet to declare state of emergency. That's my speak.
Thank you so much, Adenka. Asking for that from the president. Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Mr. Sulaiman Sherif. How do you do?
Regarding the Plateau attack, I think it's very worrisome to hear that some people that have been killed, even close to over 50. But from the report, I don't think there is nothing like violence between communities, but it's pro attack by the terrorists. And the most important solution is to bring the poetry of the books, justice for the dead person. You can't talk of any solution without justice. But lastly, what's unfortunate is that under Mr. President Tinubu, women are not national assets. If they are national assets, it's supposed to have declared state of emergency in that particular state again, because the killing of innocent people in that state is unpalatable for many Nigerians. So, and Mr. President is the Grand Commander of Armed Forces. He's supposed to give him marching order to our security against him to do necessary things. Because all those governors, their security, their chief security on paper, he can't do anything. That's my own summation.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Sheriff, for the president to give marching orders to the security forces, which I believe he already has. All right. We're talking about 2027 now.
Okay.
So these people, Peter Obi, Atiku Abubakar, and Nasir El-Rufai, declared a the creation of a coalition that was aimed at defeating President Tinubu in 2027 poll. However, rising from their meeting in Ibadan yesterday, the PDP Governors Forum, it was chaired by Governor of Bauchi State, Bala Mohammed, announced that the party would not participate in any coalition or any merger. Do you believe that this coalition, proposed coalition, is in the interest of Nigerians? Don't forget that this is how we got APC, a coalition of some sorts, which was aimed at bringing former President Buhari into power.
You see, let me tell you something. That is, APC is a weakened state, because of the economic policies of the president and the lackluster attitude towards insecurity in Nigeria. It's a weak, and many of them are just there for being there. Their minds are no longer with APC. That's why they are trooping to Buhari in order to prevail on him, not to allow people from CPC, people the ones he brought into the coalition, not to leave. And many of them are leaving, And I keep saying that the next election is not going to be between APC and any opposition. It's going to be between APC and Nigerians. Because you come to election with your scorecard.
Are you sure that Nigerians are ready for this?
If they are not ready, they let them continue to have it their own way. You understand? So it's about APC and Nigerians, not about APC and any opposition party.
Let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Yeah, hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, well, sir. All right. My name is Salami. I'm calling from Awoton.
Okay, Mr. Salami, you're welcome.
All right, madam. You see, let's call a spade a spade. The crisis we're having in Plateau, Benue, and elsewhere in Nigeria is not a communal class at all. They are not communal classes. Honestly speaking, and let us stop having the mindset that is this Fulani herdsmen? No. Let us call a spade a spade. They are Fulani invaders who are trying to carry out an agenda to render Nigeria as a conquered territory. And that's why I believe that President Tinubu must please not sell Nigeria to Fulani. Our greatest service in this country was Buhari's second coming, honestly speaking. And only God will take us out of this. But Mr. President, I pray for him. God will give him good health. God will spare his life. But he must not please stole Buhari's life in the issue of this insecurity with Fulani invaders who have come from various parts of Africa, Central African Republic, Niger, Zaire, and wherever, just to come and conquer Nigeria. That is the whole story. That's the whole story about it. Forget about Fulani headers. This is not the first time we have been living with Fulani Nigeria. My grandmother was a Fulani woman, and I know how we all, So that is just it, my dear brother and sister. Good morning.
Thank you so much, Mr. Salami, for your valuable contribution. All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning. All right.
Regarding the political parties, the PDP, I think it is time for all those governors in that party to unite and form it with the opposition party, because we are tired of third force. Anytime there's a new party, at the end of the day, they came third. See what really happened in 2023. If PDP and Labour Party, if they work together, definitely APC will not return to power again. So, Mr. President is one that continuing where Mr. President stopped and the former President Buhari stopped. So that means 2027 is between Nigerian and APC, because some of Nigerians that normally sow their votes during the election period, they have learned their lesson right now.
So, are you sure that they've learned their lesson?
At least 100% sow their voters card during 2023 election. At least 50% of them, they have learned their lesson. Because what we are witnessing now, through the cost of living, through insecurity, even beyond during the era of Buhari. So, especially the COP member. So let me stop there. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Sheriff. Let's take the score. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning.
Good morning to you, madam. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
This is Miriam. I'm calling from Oduekun-Ayoola.
Oh, Miriam, how are you doing?
I'm very well, thank you.
All right, let's have your contribution.
Given the daily attack in PCC, I strongly believe that the president should have declared a state of emergency by now. But unfortunately, the current administration seems less concerned about security issues. Anyways, my condolences go to those that have lost their loved ones. But lastly, I will urge Mr. President, we keep urging to please intervene and provide adequate security for all citizens. That's my take. Good morning.
Thank you so much for your contribution this morning. If you're just joining, it's Perspectives Unlimited, where we're taking a look at headlines and stories making the rounds across the different dailies in Nigeria. We've been talking about a couple of things, but let's talk about, more stories. Okay, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Hello, good morning, West Radio.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name and where you're calling from, please.
My name is George. I'm calling you from Oduekun-Ayoola.
You're welcome, Mr. George. Let's have your contribution.
It is very painful to me as a person, as a Nigerian, that what we are discussing is coalition and how whether Tinubu is going to be removed from office or not. I find out that all these people, both those who are coaliting together, those who are here, who are there now, they are not even thinking of the masses of this country. So that is why I say it is painful to me. If there know how we can do without these people, get new people and see if we can get people who can think of this, how this country will survive. Because these people, they are there for themselves. They are not working for the interest of the masses of this country. Both Tinubu and Atiku and the rest of them. But if we want to look at it that because they have conquered us, they have gotten all our money and all the rest of it, and they may not even allow others to come in, then APC must not be there again. We should now look for any coalition that will give us a new lead in everything. That is what we should look for. I know people are still going to vote for them. Thank you.
Thank you so much, sir, for your contribution. Now let's move to power issues this morning. On the Daily Trust newspaper, it says 4 trillion naira federal government debt blackout looms nationwide as Gencos threaten shutdown. So it's not just enough that you pay your power bills to the PHCN. There's also an issue with the Gencos. Now, the power generating companies, that's the Gencos, have threatened to shut down their operations over 4 trillion naira debt, which is owed to them by the federal government. Don't forget that before your PHCN gets power, the power has to be generated. So it's generated by the Gencos and then given to the discos to distribute. That's how we get power. Now, a statement by the chairman of the BOT of the Gencos, Colonel Sani Bello, retired, said it was forced to issue the threat due to the prevailing situation in the power sector that has seen Gencos brought to the rear in payment settlement for services they render to the sector, despite keeping their promise in expanding their operations. The statement said that Gencos have continued to bear the brunt of the liquidity crisis in the Nigeria electric supply industry, NESI, but the increasing debts owed by the government without a clear financing plan, lack of firm contracts, and the market without securitization are hampering future planning. And so to this, they have threatened that, that
they will
they're
shut
going
down.
to stop generating power.
Well, it is a dicey situation and a very, very, very.
Can I even ask, what is the connection between the fact that we now pay a higher fee for power supply and what
nothing to
goes
show for
the
it? Look, you see, Bola, that is where Nigerian system is a case study for those who want to understand how a nation should function. Nigeria is a case study, honestly speaking, because in the Senate climb, when you increase tariff or increase the price of anything, the quality also improves. But in Nigeria, it degenerates because the people do not demand accountability from their leaders. And it is dangerous when a group of people that are not accountable to their people are in power is very, very dangerous. Nigerians have not been able to hold their leaders accountable. And that is why every Tom, Dick, and Harry aspire to the position of leadership, even when they don't know what it takes to be a leader. Because if you are giving us a account of your stewardship, and we judge you on what you have done, many people will not they will not even near Aso Rock. But because everybody that comes, they ride on the ladder of religion and ethnicity, and we forget and the person will go there, mess up the whole system, because he knows that nobody will ask him question. Let me tell you something, Azbola. Do you know that there are some countries where you live as a president, you are not going home. There is an institution where you go to and submit yourself and give account of your stewardship, because the money you spent, it didn't belong to you. Wherever you did does not belong to you. You have to account for the people. But in Nigeria, leadership does not come with responsibility. That's why we have all manner of shades of character presenting themselves for leadership position, and we vote them in. Look, we cannot have power in Nigeria. We cannot have dividends of democracy if what we are practicing is democracy. As far as we allow people we call leaders to walk away from what they ought to do, and we keep quiet, because we are divided along religion and ethnicity, we don't ask questions. The day we begin to ask questions from leadership, good people will emerge. People will now know that don't go. Some people will even tell you, you see, don't go there and disgrace your family. They will tell you, don't go there and disgrace. But here we are struggling. It's our turn.
Let's take this call, please. Hello, good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning to you, sir. Your name?
Mr. George calling back.
Oh, Mr. George, you're welcome back.
The issue of this Genco and Disco is in the same line with what we are saying about the choice of our leadership. All the money they are owing them.
Please turn down the volume of your radio set, sir.
Hold on. All the people.
Hello?
Hello.
Okay, please
We
go
are
ahead.
saying that most of the money that they are owing is as a result of bad management of the system. You still are generating light, and the masses are not getting it. Do you want them to pay for what they are not getting? You increase the price, and the people are not getting what equality for what you ask them to pay for. It will not work. If the government will not pay you, or they are not giving you the things that will make you to work properly, how do you want people to be paying for what they are not getting? That is the problem. Most houses now are now going for solar, because they know that one they can control it by themselves. If they say they want to shut down, people will surprise them, because you will shut down and you see people continue to live. Some of us have not even gotten light for the past 1 year. That is the problem. It's the same problem of leadership. The system we are running is not working, and the government is not thinking of a better system. Thank you.
You see, I was saying something, Bola, before that call came in. Nigerians are responsible for their position, for what is happening to them, because we don't ask questions. We look at the back. We don't check the background of those who offer themselves for leadership. We believe that, as far as somebody is coming from a religion, is coming from a tribe, it's good for Nigeria. It can't work that way. You can't get the best.
All right, let's take this call. Hello, good morning.
Good morning, Your Excellency, ma. God bless you, ma.
You're welcome, Mr. Mario.
Thank you. Good morning, sir, Mr. Chikwemeka.
Good morning, Benga.
There is a saying that actually is just like a fact that what we order versus what we got instead. You know, when you make an order and you're expecting a very robust and fine stuff like that, and at the end of the day, what you are being brought is like, you know, it wows you. It's like it doesn't work what you ordered for. I can equate that to the kind of president, the kind of administration that we have envisaged when in the twilight of 2023 election versus what you are presently getting. You can see that there is no care for human life. There is no care for human life. Our government, starting from the local government to the state and to the federal government, they have lost it. Talking about the basic killings, And to my amazement, we are still having it easy with the kind of, we are taking this with kids love, because those that are affected, those that lost their life, they are not, maybe they are not politicians, they are not sons and daughters, or they are not family of those highly placed Christians. So we have as a normal thing, as a normal daily happen. And this can say that maybe the family of disease. At which century? When what happened in River State happened, I think like a month ago, before Iba was being put there as the governor, the federal government sent 10,000 soldiers down to River State, right? There were no cleaning, there were just bombing of pipelines and whatever. There were no cleaning. And now we have continuous daily killing in Borno State. We have seen in, and never heard that the president has ordered that left 10,000 or 1,000 army just the latter property of the and the Borno. What are we now saying? What? This is worrisome. That means we value position. We value our interest than the life of Nigerians. Because when he was being sworn as Mr. President, he said he's going to fight to ensure that to ensure the safety of Nigerians. Now look at what is happening. I had expected that by now we would have a kind of the president would have moved his office down to Plateau State. Look at what he said when he went to Plateau State last 2 weeks ago. He said this will be the last time we have first killing in Plateau State, and not up to 2 weeks after. Look at what we recorded, 51. And that 51 is just the paper one. You cannot the actual figure you might be if you know. So I think this thing is let Mr. President be active. Deploy soldiers, even if you can just bring that about the state of emergency, bring in a military administrator there just for maybe a period of 3 months to stabilize the something there. Then afterwards, then when those bandits, when they see the presence of those soldiers and those highly soldiers, they will reverse back. That's what we are saying. And on the issue of 2027 build-up election, see, the doctors that met yesterday in Ibadan and they said they are not going to form coalition, they are going to stand there on their own. A tree does not make a forest. A tree cannot make a shade. If they know that, they know what they want to be a formidable opposition. They cannot do it alone. They need one or two other political parties to unite and defeat the incumbent if they want to have headway. But if they want to go by their own way, I'm telling you, those shall be the end of life. Thank you very much and God bless you.
Thank you so much, Mr. Mari, for that one. Now, moving away from these issues, I want us to quickly talk about this current issue that is everywhere. So there are certain I don't know how to put it, but let me take the story on the pages of the Daily Trust. The headline says, "Amid fears over CBEX, SEC warns against unregistered trading." Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission, that's the SEC, has said that the newly enacted Investment and Securities Act 2025, ISA 2025, makes it illegal to operate digital assets exchange or online foreign exchange trading platforms without formal registration with the Commission. Now, this is simply because there's a digital asset trading platform called CBEX, and some people have said that it has crashed. Now, that's not exactly what I want us to talk about. I want to talk about how Nigerians fall over and over again for Ponzi scheme.
Ponzi scheme, yeah.
Why do we fall for that over and over again?
It is our greed that takes us to Ponzi scheme. Let me tell you something. I've said it here sometime, that Ponzi scheme, the name Ponzi came out of an Italian migrant to America in 1920. He went to America and he started to do one kind of funny business and asked people to come and put in money and everything, and the Americans fell for it, and the thing crashed. That's where the Ponzi is. The name who started is Mr. Charles Ponzi from Italy. So Ponzi scheme, it plays on the greed of the people. If you are full of greed, you will fall for it. Because if somebody is asking you to bring 40,000, in the next 3 hours, they will give you 80,000, and you are not selling anything. You begin to ask yourself. A lot of my friends did it when they came up with this MMM thing. They were raking in money. I was never moved. They were telling me, you are timid, you are this and that. Because
you're not a risk taker.
No, not a risk taker. They say I'm not.
That's some of the things that we also.
And I kept asking them, what are you buying and what are you selling? They say, no, you don't need to buy. That is they said is I've forgotten the terms they use. That is something that is liquid. Liquid is, they said all manner of things. I saw them. They put in 40. Some collected 80,000. I was never moved because I knew that there must be something wrong with this thing. At the end of the day, some people even carry their church money to do MMM. Some people even carry people's salary, this country, to do MMM. And at the end of the day, some of them committed suicide. Look, a Ponzi scheme will keep thriving in an atmosphere of poverty. Yes, in an atmosphere of poverty. So
you're saying that this is linked to
yes,
poverty.
You link it to poverty, you link it to greed, you link it to desire to stay afloat because of the scorched earth policy of this administration. So people will tend to go look for something. They look at the money is in their hand and they say, okay, so if I put this money down, I will get more. That greed will propel them. At the end of the day, people that start it always make a killing. But when the thing begins to go and many people are coming in, it will always crash. That's why people will lose money. Nigerians have not learned their lesson, and is not looking as if they are going to learn their lesson. They are still entering into Ponzi scheme. Ponzi scheme cannot thrive in a society where people are taken care of, where the state takes care of the citizens. Because are you asking me to come and do Ponzi scheme when there's food for me to eat? I won't fall for it. But when there's no money to eat, no money for transportation, no money to even pay school fees or house rent, and you are telling somebody that the 20 naira in your hand, it's like a brick. they will go for it. They will say, okay, so if I put in this 20,000, in the next 3 hours or 3 days, I will get 60,000. They will try it. At the end of the day, when the thing crashes, they go back to square one. It is not the best way to go. And it is the government that can stop this mess. Because Ponzi scheme has never helped people. The euphoria that comes with it will always attract people. One woman called me some time ago and said there is something now that a lot of people are eating with it. People are building mansions and this and that. I said, what is it? He said that I should Google something somewhere and find out that if I register with $300, where will I get $300? No, $3,000. If I register with $3,000, that within some days I will become a millionaire. That's what the woman told me. And he's a teacher in a school. He thought he was doing me a word of good. I told her, politely that I'm not interested in any Ponzi scheme. Where will I even get $3,000 to put? If I go and borrow, that's how they send people on errand. Some people will now go and borrow money and enter into that kind of thing. At the end of the day, you'll be running away from people. I told her that I have never done Ponzi thing. And I say no, that this one is not that he tried to. In fact, he became an evangelist for Ponzi scheme. I told her, you cannot convert me into this because even during MMM, I didn't even do it. I cannot do it now. He said a lot of things. At the end of the day, she stopped calling me and I rested. A lot of Nigerians are still going for this because of the precarious situation where we are today economically. And it is not the best way to go. Ponzi scheme doesn't help. It promises a lot but offers little.
All right. Today is the 15th, and so we learned that for those who said it hasn't crashed, they said they will be able to withdraw today. Okay. So we're waiting for details on that. If you're able to withdraw your money, send us a message. Let's know. So but on the other hand, please don't let your desperation to make money push you into something that you may not be able to get out of. So I know that many people are pushed into these things by the unbelievably high return on investment.
And tell them not to use people's as the salary of their workers.
Honestly, because many people look at the return on investment. Look, when it comes to return on investment, when people tell you, now it's no longer like MMM. Now they tell you that you're actually trading.
What am I trading?
You're buying stocks and
what am I buying?
You're buying stock and selling stock. It's digital currency and the likes. But you want to take a good look at such. Is it what you're selling and what you're buying? Does it have actual names? Can you Google the names of this stock and actually find out that yes, I'm buying this? Are you selling Tesla shares? Are you buying bank shares? Are you buying whatever. Also look at the ROI. Good ROI, 7%, 10%, 10.5%, 15%. But if you have something that is promising you 50% return on investment in 30 days, my dear brothers and sisters, you need to be watchful. And yes, just like Chukwemeka said, don't use other people's money if you eventually decide to
yes, use your own.
There's a thrift collector in my area who is now
on the run.
Yes, people cannot find him again. My bike man was just telling me about how he has 45,000 naira with the man, someone has 100,000, and the man takes thrift in the whole area, and they can't find him anymore.
Because they are using it for Ponzi scheme.
I don't know. So please, let's be very careful. Let's be very watchful. Let's not let the desperation for money lead us into something that is even worse. Okay. I think that's about it this morning on Perspectives Unlimited. We're wrapping up the show a bit earlier than we normally would, but it's just on a good note. A quick message to our leaders. Leaders are only as good when they have followers behind them, when their followers are thriving, and when their followers are in a good position. At the moment, Nigerians are struggling to eat. Nigerians are struggling to live decently and also struggling on the side with insecurity. Let our leaders come back to the drawing table and see how they can make good on this leadership promise they have made to us, such that Nigerians will be proud to say, yes, we have leaders that actually care about us. This has been Perspectives Unlimited on World Radio 89.3 FM. Thank you so much, Chukwemeka.
Thank you for having me, Bola. May God save Nigeria.
And thank you to everyone who called and joined us on the show. Don't go away. Sports coming next, giving you the latest, the freshest, and the best stories in the world of sports. My name is Bolanle Oduekun-Ayoola. Good morning, and God bless you.